Hello, happy Friday. This is a really odd time for me to be going live. I always go live like sometime midday, late at night, well, what I consider late at night, since I usually am in bed by 9 p.m. And I have done transmissions at like 9 p.m. That to me is late, but this is new. So hello, welcome to my Facebook Live. Hello, YouTube, because I'm going to upload this on YouTube. The replay, of course. So I love putting my transmissions there because I personally love YouTube to listen to any kind of long-term thing, like if I'm catching it on the replay. So I'm really excited about today's topic, as always, but this one has been kind of like, I wanted to do it Wednesday and then kind of was feeling sick. Luckily, I'm feeling a lot better. Yesterday was teetering whether I was going to feel better or not, and later on throughout the day I'm like, okay, yes, I feel good, thank you vitamin C, thank you vitamin D, and from supplementation form and being out in the sun, because I really think that helped, because now I feel good and I'm here. My voice feels a little off, so I do have my water in a mug, in my favorite Friday mug. So this mug my mom got me in April of this year, because I told her I wanted to move down to Florida. She's like, here you go, here's your Florida mug. And I made this my Friday, there's Florida on it, my Friday drinking mug, and I just set my intentions for, and like dream of possibilities and potentiality for myself in Florida and for my man, and like all the amazing things that are gonna happen. So it's like my Friday feel good, pleasure mug. So I probably will be drinking because like I already feel getting a little dry. So this morning, as I was preparing for this live, I asked Spirit to with my deck of cards, I asked Spirit to what messages do you have for me for this live? And of course, the card that popped out was this one. Oh, there you go. Ask body. As when it came out, I was like, of course it would be this one, because the point of today's transmission, radical honesty and authentic expression, is about connecting with your body, connecting with your higher self, connecting with your womb, connecting with your soul, connecting with your future self, connecting with the you that wants to be in a sovereign relationship, that wants to express sovereignty. The you that wants to be fully, authentically you and fully expressed in your relationship and in every single aspect of your life. And what needs to happen with that is really going internal to then go external. Radical honesty is the communion with your highest self. 100%, that's what it is. There's no way that you can be dishonest if you are in communion with your highest self. What's going to happen if you are dishonest? You are all the time creating a disconnect with your highest self, with your highest truth, with your soul, and creating disconnect with your partner, creating disconnect with any relationship that you have in your life. Because if you're not being honest with yourself, you're not authentically expressing that. And therefore, your partner, your friend, any relationships that you have aren't receiving your truth. Only an image that you are pretending to be, whatever that is. Whether it's pretending to be someone so that you get approval, you get acceptance, you get love, you feel worthy. But all of that is not strong. It's not true. What's not true will crumble. What is not true will eventually be revealed. The truth always comes out, as they say, right? The truth always comes out. So in my experience, so one thing I want to go to first is a reminder of what sovereign is. Sovereignty is, I just drew a blank. Let me go back to my note. Sovereignty is the freedom of external control. There you go. That is the definition in the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. freedom of external control, right? That's what sovereignty is. So when we go into a place of entering a relationship, you don't want to have any type of control in that relationship. Because what can happen is when you enter a relationship, what has control over you is the approval of what somebody feels towards you or gives you, the worth that somebody gives you, this is how I want you to be expressed in this container that is completely not a sovereign choice. It's almost like if you don't do this, then I don't approve of you. If you don't do this, then you can't be here. And more of I don't want that to get confused with boundaries, but I'm talking about more of someone asking of you to be something that you're not. And then you, because of a control factor that you have, like let's say what controls you is the love of the relationship, the approval, the just having a relationship can be controlling enough for a person if you're scared to be alone, right? So you're in this container that is not sovereign. So it's difficult to be radically honest when you're in that, right? So radical honesty is stepping in, looking inside yourself, asking yourself, is this relationship the fullest expression of my divinity? Is this fight? Is this man? Is this person? Am I being the fullest expression of who I can be? And you got to sit there and listen. Because the answer will come. Your body is the unconscious mind, which is why the card that Spirit jumped out of the deck. Usually jumping cards is Spirit trying to tell you, like, you need to pay attention to this card. There's a reason why that card popped out. And there's a reason why going internal is a direct communion to your highest expression. So what came through? So with this card, what it asked, like so I opened up the booklet, wanted to go in, see what it said. And it said, get in a comfortable position and connect with your body. Breathe and connect with your body. So I did. And I was like, okay. They said, go to your core. So I went to my womb. I went to my womb and to my heart chakra area, because this is where I feel I am connected with my highest self and with my soul. Like, I feel my soul here. And your soul will not lead you in the wrong direction. What leads you in the wrong direction is those attachments that you have. Is when you're in this place of codependency, which is the opposite of sovereignty. The opposite of sovereignty is codependency. You are attached and you are being controlled. It is, I remember the definition is like the manifestation of low self-worth. Literally, that's what it said in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. What keeps you not listening to your soul is actually the mind that is addicted to whatever this codependent thing is. And the addiction doesn't mean this, like how a drug addict or an alcoholic will be, but they are codependent to alcohol. They are codependent to drugs. Codependent could be the addiction to a person and the false love that you receive that's there. Codependency, and it could go into different levels. There's so many different levels. Okay? You can be addicted to negative beliefs and drama. Okay? So, what keeps you from not listening to your soul is those addictions, those thoughts, and that wounded inner child that is attracting a relationship that is not sovereign. So it comes to this practice. So I'm going to give you an example. When me and my ex broke up the first time, when he came back to me and he did all the right things, he did the knight in shining armor, he came to me, he got a hold of me after I blocked him off of everything. So he somehow found a way. He didn't know where I was living. He didn't know anything like that. I blocked him off social media. I blocked him off my phone number. He found a way to contact me through Skype. And he said all the right things, how he was so sorry. He was crying, like, you know, just like pouring his heart out, saying all the things that I wanted him to say, like that he didn't treat me right. He wants a second chance. Like he knows that he couldn't give everything he wanted for me. And so he did the knight in shining armor thing, right? Then he came to my house, had this huge bouquet of roses, had this card that said all the things I love about you. That was every single centimeter of that card was filled. Saying he wants to have babies with me, he wants to get married, right? All the things I've wanted. But my body was like, no. Like I felt it inside. I remember distinctly. I remember at the restaurant sitting with him and feeling like I really shouldn't be here. Like I really should not do this. No, like there was like my body. But what kept me going? The mind that, the mind that was codependent on that was wanting the addiction, that wanted to hear all those things and wanted to see what would happen. My wounded inner child. But my body was just like, the unconscious mind knew, like, I don't regret my choice. I take full responsibility of my choice. I take radical responsibility of my choice, which was the last transmission. But if I would have taken the time to be radically honest with myself and not abandon myself, maybe things would have been different. Maybe I would have chose differently. Maybe I still would have done it and been like, I know this doesn't feel right, but I really want to see, like, and have that really crystal clear clarity. You know what I mean? Because there's a difference between I'm ignoring my body, even though it's telling me all these signals. So I'm just going to stay focused on here. And there's a difference between like, I know my body is telling me this, but I really still want to find out what happens. So that brings me to my next, Well, I will, let me see. Yeah, really want to find out what happened. So those are two completely different things. What came through as I pulled this card, which was the original reason why it came here, or came to this point, was that this is what Spirit said to me. This is what came through when I connected with my womb. With your body, you are safe. And you are safe to experience everything that comes up. It is safe to go within. Which I didn't think I had that safety. I didn't understand. There was a fear of going within, which if you are resonating with what I just said, a lot of times we just have a fear of going within, fearing of what the answer is, or fear of like how long the answer will come. Because when you're really attached to needing to find out the answer right now, you can have a little bit of a block in like of what your body's what your intuition, what your soul, what your higher self is, what your womb, what your future self is trying to tell you. So that is possible. Why we feel unsafe to go within. We're just nervous to find out what the answer is or how long it's going to take, because our mind, the masculine part of us, says, no, we need to know the answer right now. We need to make a move. Like this is an urgency, when sometimes it's really not an urgency. Sometimes it's just that we think that we can't handle the void. We can't handle the time in between of actually receiving the answer, or waiting a little bit longer to see maybe more details coming out about the relationship, about the argument, about the situation, about the circumstance. Humans, the void is a very, very uncomfortable place. It really is. We haven't really been taught that it's okay to feel uncomfortable when it comes to something that's not really urgent, when it has the time to wait, to have a fully developed answer, right? So going within can feel unsafe about what's going to come up because we're actually scared to know the answer. So we're avoiding it, or we don't want to take the time to wait to receive the information. But the only way you're going to have an honest answer and take radical honesty is by taking that time to go within. So it's safe to go within your body. It's safe to come internal and ask, what is the best decision for me to take right now? What's my next move? This is what I really want, but I'm nervous. Do you have any insight for me? Or, however you want to word it. I'm feeling uncomfortable right now. Why is that? Feeling really excited right now. Why is that? You can even go to the other way to really start to get to understand your body, to get to understand your body's way of communicating with you, which is your soul's way of communicating with you, which is your womb's way of communicating with you, okay? So radical honesty is really going inside and not having that disconnect with your highest self and not disconnect with your soul, and it's safe to go within. Because the other thing is this. You are with your body for the rest of your life. You are with your soul for the rest of your life. You are with your highest self for the rest of your life. And either you're going to be in communion with that relationship, or you're with being radically honest by wanting to be radically honest with yourself and what is best for your life, what is best in this relationship, what is best in this career, what is best with this friendship, family, whatever it is. Because guess what? Everything in your life changes. Everything. Everything. Our life is not going to stay the same. Your career can change. What you do inside your career can change. The amount of money you make can change. Your home can change. The state that you live in, the city that you live in, your partner can change. Even if you're with the same partner for the rest of your life, that person is going to grow and evolve, most likely, because that's the path of human evolution. Or your relationship's going to get bored and complacent, which is another subject. That's also, it's another subject. But everything grows, everything changes. The only constant that you have in your life is you. Even the state of your body will change, but you're always going to be able to go within, connect with yourself, and get honest with the questions or with the with the questions that you have, the circumstances that you have, what you want to accomplish in your relationship. That's always going within and taking that time to discover the answer and be radically honest with yourself with what's happening. So when you do that, you can then be authentically expressed. So a little story. Ron and I were doing long distance. He was living in Jersey. I was living in Florida. A year in, I decided to move up. He asked me. I took a second. I went within. I got the answers really fast, like boom. I said, yes, I want to move up here. Boom. I move up here. I'm like, but I don't know how long I don't know how I will feel in the cold weather, or if I would actually be happy here. So I said, in 2 years, if I'm not happy, will you move with me, you know, to somewhere warmer or somewhere else? He said yes. Okay. 2 years, wasn't happy. The 3rd year, in 2021, I started to really feel unhappy. And I don't think the 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year, this would be the 5th year. The 3rd year was 2020. I don't think I actually contemplated moving down until like 2021. So it was the 4th year I started to feel unhappy. So I went inside, I checked in, and I remember this meditation. I was like, I really feel unhappy. Like, I really need to get honest with myself of what's happening here. I don't feel good. There's nothing wrong with my relationship. I love the man that I'm with, but why am I feeling unhappy? So I went inside, connected with my body, and I actually saw like this dark spot and like a red light right in the middle. So I was like, what is that? So I went deeper into that. I went deeper and discovered what that was. And it was like, you're not happy here in Jersey. And it's time to get radically honest with yourself, because I was trying to make this situation work. I was trying to make the environment work, trying to make myself happy in a place where I really was not happy. Right? So when that came through, it also made me nervous, because what does that mean for our relationship? Because I didn't know, I wasn't sure at the time if he was ready to make that move to move down, if he even wanted to move down. He's a small town guy. He's lived in 3 homes in the 39 years of his life. In the almost 5 years, I'll be 35 in October 28th. I've lived in like 12 different homes. I've lived in a city. I've lived in a different state, right? So I'm like this adventurous person. I want to live life. I want to be fully expressed. I want to be authentically me and really express that authenticity in all aspects of my life. Babe's a little different. But I had to get really radically honest with myself and say, I'm not fully expressed here. I'm not my most authentic expression here. I feel constricted. So we had that conversation. It was scary. But if I'm in a sovereign relationship and I'm committed to my sovereignty, I need to be radically honest with myself and with the man that I'm with. Or he's going to get half-ass of me and I'm going to get half-ass of myself. What kind of a relationship is that? Is that a fully expressed relationship, or is that just a dimmed down version? I already know what's going to happen to me if I stay with that. Because I know what happened to me in my previous relationship, and I made a vow to never, ever, ever do what I did in that previous relationship, no matter how scary and uncertain that it feels. And I pray that you make those same vows to yourself when you experience a lack of authenticity in a relationship or in any other aspect. Like, take that vow to yourself. So we had the conversation. It was a little uncomfortable at first, but we've had several conversations, right? Because now we're in that void of stepping into my radical honesty, communicating that with him. So then there's that void, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? When am I going to move? What is he going to do? That's okay. You can handle that. I didn't need to take immediate action, even though I knew I wasn't happy here. There's a time and a place for things. There's a time and a place. It's important to just start to express that radical honesty with yourself so that you can start to authentically express you and how you want to live your life. So that brings me to, the next point that I wanted to make, which was when I finally decided in my previous relationship that I was like, I really need to get to know myself. I really need to see if this is really the relationship for me. So if I was radically honest with myself at that time, I really wasn't sure. I was in that uncertainty phase, and that's okay. Radical honesty sometimes is being like, I really don't know. Like, I feel like a no, but I feel like a yes. Like, I'm not sure. Like, maybe there's a possibility that this relationship really could work out. And what I learned in that time, and what I want you to take home from that, in any situation that you're in, but especially your relationships, is that if you feel there was a possibility and you want to discover that possibility, go for it, but don't lose yourself in the process. Stay committed to being connected and having that communion with your higher self. And as the relationship is unfolding, being radically honest with yourself with what's happening and if you are really okay with that. I had to do that for like 2 years, but definitely the last 6 months when we got engaged, I was like, okay, now it's for realsies. I need to see if this really is a relationship for me. So every little thing I would ask myself, is this something that I can live with for the rest of my life? Is this something that this fight, is it really worth the relationship? You know, is it an agree to disagree situation that we just don't see eye to eye? Or maybe does he really have a good point, or do I have a good point? Like, getting really radically honest with every little detail. And you're going to rack up evidence, right? Because when you're not sure, you kind of want to rack up evidence for yourself, but this evidence needs to come from here. Needs to come from your soul. And the other thing that I did in the time, I was like, okay, I'm not only am I going to be radically honest with myself, but I'm going to be me. 1000%, I'm going to unleash myself. And I did. Then that created some fights. I was like, okay. Started asking myself the questions, getting radically honest with me. And then eventually I started racking evidence from my soul. So by the time that we had like that last final fight, I was like, I am done. I knew that the possibility of this relationship being for me was not it. So if you are questioning things, if you are questioning something and you're uncertain, okay, because sometimes when we're uncertain, we can block a little bit of the information when we go in, because, you know, there's still maybe a little ego attachment, but you're still open and willing to really see if this is really for you, or maybe there are still some lessons that you need to learn. I still had a lot of lessons to learn that last 6 months, but damn, did it make me a fucking sovereign ass bitch. Because I stayed in my truth. I stayed in integrity with myself throughout the time. I expressed how I wanted to wear, what I wanted to do in my career, how I wanted the house to be decorated. I expressed my concerns and just saw what I received. And I didn't waver. I stood up to him. I was like, all right, Jess, if you're going to be radically honest, what do you really want to do? Like, I want to stand up to him. Okay, stand up to him. Shit. Okay, I'm doing it. But that was my authentic, fierce expression, that fierce, dark, feminine expression that I needed to do at that time, to do in those little moments. That felt really good to say. So I hope that really lands here. And to kind of tie up the story with Ron and I'm moving at the end of this year. Because that also, Ron also needed time, my partner needed time to think, because for him, he needs time to think. And I actually had a lot of time to think. I had 4 years to think about whether this was really a place for me or not. Even though I still tried to really make it work. I'm just not authentically I'm not my fullest expression here. I need to be close to a beach. I need to have sun year round. The winter, it's not for me. Even though like once I started learning more about like the divine feminine and how like the winter is like the oracle and all of these, it's just not for me. It really is not for me. It's a place that I can visit for a vacation. And in the future, I would love to do that when I'm in, maybe like I really want to experience the seasons. I would love to stay somewhere for like a month and be there. But I know I get to go back to someplace warm. Like I'm just not expressed here. I'm not fully expressed. I really didn't make any friends during the time that I was here. It's just not my vibe of people. And I need to be around people, which is another reason why I'm moving back down to Florida. And then Ron's going to come with me afterwards. And whatever Ron decided to do, I knew that I would be okay. And you will be okay too. So when you're stepping into your radical honesty, number one, when you go deep into your body, as I mentioned earlier, you are safe to feel whatever comes up. You're safe to understand the answers, and you're going to be safe when you receive the answers. Whatever that answer is, and whatever decision you make after that, after coming, which is going to be your authentic expression, you're safe with that outcome. You're safe with that outcome. And sometimes it can rock things a little bit, especially if it needs to be destroyed in order to go and build something else. So that happens like that's the cycle of life, which is why everything is changing, right? There's death and rebirth. There's death and rebirth. There's death and rebirth. There's death and rebirth. That happens with you as a woman monthly with your menstrual cycle, but it also happens in your life, which is why it's always important to go inside and to be honest. Because when you go inside, then can you fully express you. You can't do that unless you're checking in with yourself and really asking, is this for me? Is this what I want? Am I fully expressed in my career, in my relationship, within myself, like with your own body, right? So that is today's transmission. I hope that really landed for you. This is the other time that I really didn't have like a lot of notes. So I'm really excited. Oh, there's one thing I do want to say. Your communication is also an authentic expression. So I did have some notes, but I didn't have like a full outline. And again, when I went live today, just before I went live, I felt my hands like a little shaky. I was like, oh my God, how is this gonna be? But it was fine. It was great. And I think I always connect with my higher self before. So I think this really helps a lot, allows me to be more like myself and allow myself to channel through my soul, allow my soul to channel through whatever else I called upon before. So that completes the transmission for today. Thank you for being here. I have 2 more transmissions that I'm going to give. I'm going to give it tomorrow and Sunday. I really want these last 3 to be back to back. I want this series to be complete. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me, I have that right now available. This is for the woman who wants to create a new blueprint for sacred union. So, I love saying that. This is for, the awakened woman who wants to create a new blueprint of how to operate in an awakened relationship. It's an 8-week commitment, and we go deep. We combine shadow work with embodiment work. That was the key that unlocked. That's the key that's going to unlock you to calibrate up to your next level of identity in a relationship, because what you've been operating on has been from a past identity. We really want to bring you up. That's what that new blueprint is for. So if you're interested in that, please message me. I would love to talk to you more about that. I have something also really good coming out. It's coming out a lot faster than I thought. Like yesterday, I didn't really feel that great, to like talk. So I was really more internal and creation mode, and whew, something amazing came through. So I'm excited for that. So that's going to be shared soon. So that's it for today. Thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, if you have any questions, or if you're on YouTube, please put them in the box. I do great with questions. That's how I respond to the world, and I love giving answers. So that's it. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.